Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the latest episode of Birds vs. Boys. You have Kmess, you have Aidan back together again as we kick off Memorial Day weekend. The summer is beginning, and that just means we're closer to football season. Just kidding. We are not wishing summer away. We both enjoy summer very much. There's plenty of football to talk about right now in terms of OTAs and rule changes or rules not being changed, Aiden. We're going to get into a little bit of that right here and right now. Aiden, summer's kicking off. It seems as though possibly Noah's Ark's rainstorm has ended, and we're going to get into a little bit of start of the summer.
It's officially the start of the summer, which is great in all forms, except for if you host a podcast centered around the NFL. Thankfully, the storylines have not stopped since the end of the season, since free agency, since the draft, and now into potential rule changes in Olympic sports that NFL players are now going to be participating in. So headlines keep rolling. We keep rolling too.
I mean, it really, not going to lie, this offseason for us and this podcast and our teams has been electrifying.
Yeah.
New Cowboys head coach, Eagles coming off of the Super Bowl, big drafts for both of us, George Pickens trade, the rule not changing. It has just been, I forgot, like one of the biggest ones. I don't know. Week 1, Cowboys Eagles. So, I mean, this has been the perfect offseason so far for us.
It's been the perfect calendar year. This has been the best calendar year of my Eagles lifetime. It just feels like it's just never ending. I'm literally, as an Eagles fan and a Philly fan, just waiting for that come down feeling that the high has worn off.
So am I for you.
Yeah, exactly. It's gone on so long that I'm now peering around the corner and I'm a little nervous because I keep waiting for it and it just doesn't stop. It just doesn't stop. We keep getting higher and higher.
You're waiting for the boogeyman to play peekaboo.
Exactly. I'm waiting for the Hat Man in the corner.
All right. So I'm before we get into it, I just want to let everybody know I just did a 15 to 20 minute, I think it was actually 18 minutes right in between there, OTAs recap for the Dallas Cowboys. I talk about the Brian Schottenheimer culture effect, what's happening with Tyler Booker and the rookies, how's Dak look coming off the injury, who's going to play cornerback, what's the linebackers look like. So I dive all into that. So if you are here on our YouTube page right now watching this, as soon as you're done, head back one and subscribe first if you're not subscribed yet, and then you can watch my Cowboys OTA video. But here and now, where do you want to start, Aiden? We got two topics we're going to talk about. You want to go Olympics or push and tush?
Push and tush.
Okay. I think it's absolutely hilarious that they literally rolled Jason Kelce in there to be like, guys, come on now.
Pulled in the big guns. Called the Bills bluff. A bunch of cowards and a bunch of losers all grouped together to stop a play that everybody else can run. They tried to make up lies and farces and fake news, and we stood our ground, just like we do on the Tush Push, and got it done.
Pretty funny. I mean, I understand both sides.
I don't.
Somewhat. I do not. I think lining up like it's good and all that, I still don't think you should be able to push someone. You can't push a defensive lineman in the back. Like, that's against the rules. Like, a linebacker can't push a D end into the line.
I said in that play, in that formation, you should be able to do that. Also, when the Packers' verbiage of the rule, it would have outlawed other plays in which the offensive line would push a ball carrier. So when you see a running back travel 5 yards down the field and he's held up, but then the offensive lineman get behind and push him, it would have outlawed that too. I said, okay, in that situation, let the defense push back. If that's the major holdup, but it again did not feel to me like they had any credibility to that. Like, it wasn't brought forward in the sense that you're bringing it forward. Like, if they would have walked in there and said what you just said, Kevin, where they're like, well, it's only fair to the offense because the defense can't push. But when you go out there and you make these player safety claims, and then they go back and they can't find a single play where the Tush Push was run and somebody was injured, well, then, like, you start to lose this credibility, and then you bring in other things. Oh, it affects the pace of play. It's not a football play. Okay, Well, we have 4,000 commercial breaks in every game. We use old men using a chain gang to determine first downs with index cards when we have 4K televisions now to measure the ball. So, like, the pace of play thing does not matter.
And the last I checked, there's a play clock, right?
Yes. It's
So
like,
they
yeah,
still have to
exactly. It's
get
like
the play
nobody's
off in
getting
time.
delay of games off this play. It's the same as a QB sneak play would be in terms of pace of play. So that stuff leaking in and being some people's reasons, and then people saying it's not a football play. That's not a real, that's just a made up term, not a
Yep.
football play. That's just
Yep.
made up. You made it up. There is nothing more football than 11 men versus 11 men with a yard to go going full force into each other. It's just not.
Do do you know, it's termed the greatest game ever played. The Giants, was it Giants Colts, right? At Giants Stadium. It was like in the third. I think there was like 2 pass plays in the game total, and it's dubbed the greatest game ever played.
That's amazing.
I so like it's down to basics original football. I
Yeah.
get it. Times change, players change. We've we've figured out how to throw a pigskin down the field, and some more than
Very
others
far.
really, really good at it.
Yeah.
So I get that, but I I don't. The only thing that I am against is if you can't push, like if my linebacker can't push my defensive end into the line to try and stop. That's the only argument I have behind Saquon Barkley pushing Hurts behind. Everything else,
Mhm.
the linemen, how they line, they're just. I saw, who was it? I think it was Tulu or Lupu or Mumu, the guy, the linebacker on Washington who
Frankie
jumped over the
Louvu,
line 7 times. Yeah,
which I
he
did
was on
watch
a
him on Good
podcast.
Morning Football, and I'm
Yeah,
glad that he came off so well because I wanted to hate him with all of my being, but then he seemed like a nice guy. So now I strongly
hate him
dislike
less.
him, but I don't hate him.
But I in the podcast, the one point that I was just like, he's like, they got monsters. They got Mulata on one side and they got Lane Johnson on the other, and he's like trying to argue that. And I'm like, now you're just arguing about personnel because they have really good players. Like,
That's been my biggest. That's the biggest point that I keep making, and that's why I'm pro Tush Push. If it was the Titans running this play successfully, I would still be pro Tush Push, anti ban, because I think what makes the Eagles very good at it on 4th and 1 is the same reasons they were good on 1st and 10, because they had a bigger, stronger offensive line unit. That's why they were able to run the ball so well overall, not just in Tush Push situations, overall. That's why they were
I,
bigger than you. And I think optically now it looks like 31 other, not 31, I won't say 31, there were some teams thankfully on our
10.
side, but it looks like the majority of the league, 22 teams, were salty that one team was bodying them. And specifically, the Packers now look so cowardly for
Yep.
losing twice, having their season started and ended by the Eagles, and then coming for their signature play. It's like, you didn't, the tush push was not the difference between our two teams.
No. No. Maybe don't fumble the ball on the opening kickoff of your playoff game.
Exactly. You want to talk about physicality and pushing players? Play one of the game we out physicaled you. We didn't even
Yeah.
make it past special teams before we out physicaled you. So if you want to talk about the physicality and the pushing and the play, like there's just certain teams I won't hear it from.
And for those people here who it's not your first time, loyal listeners, we appreciate you. That just brought me back to you. Like, I think it was a week, maybe it was the week leading into the Packers game, or the week even before that, when you're like, one of these games is going to come down to our gunners streaming down the field, and there's going to be a fumble on a punt or a kickoff, and we're going to get it. And it's going to change the whole momentum of the game. I don't think you thought it was going to be the first kick of the game.
I did not. I did not. I thought it would happen in the playoffs at some point. I didn't expect it to happen on the very first play of the playoffs, but it did. It also then happened again against Washington.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. So, like I said, to finish the tush push, I it's another just victory lap in a year-long victory lap, and I can't believe that we saved it. I do believe, like a lot of Eagles fans, If they would have banned it, we would have been pretty good at QB sneaks. We would have just went to regular sneaks or found something else and it would have been fine. The one final thing that I think comes from this, you mentioned Jason Kelsey and the speech that he gave. Jeffrey Lurie, I don't want to say this is like the moment that puts him into the Hall of Fame, but it's the moment that he's in the spotlight. And he's not in the spotlight a lot, but we hear about all these other owners quite often. Jeffrey Lurie, we don't hear about as often. The work he's done, we are now in the golden age of Eagles football. We have never sniffed this level of success until he took over. And since the turn of the century, 17 playoff appearances, 8 NFC championship games. We spent a quarter of this century in the NFC championship game, 4 Super Bowls, 2 Super Bowl victories. And for him to now have the power to stand up in front of 31 other owners and be willing to say what he said and how he ended it and be like, no matter what you do, we will walk out of here and we will still be Super Bowl champions and we'll just find another way to beat you. And it was like the most like drop the mic and hand me my gold jacket moment that he's had.
Yep. And that also makes me think it's just another moment that I would love to be a fly on the wall in the NFL.
Oh
Like
yeah.
that owners meeting, like that, like the night before, right? Guys are at the bar and stuff. People are lobbying. It's literally like a political race.
It is.
It's like the Pope race. I don't know if you watched the movie Convent, but if you haven't, watch it. About the whole how they elect the Pope. It's crazy because the guy's like the one guy in that movie is like he's like, this isn't a war. He's like, it is a war and you have to pick a side, like about the Pope.
About the
And
Pope.
I'm like, it's the same thing. Like I would love to be there while they're like lobbying each other. And Jerry Jones is sitting there holding court with his Johnny Walker Blue. It's like, I don't know about this Push and Tush sitting there, and then there's Jeffrey Lurie on the other side of the bar calling Jerry Jones a pussy. It, like
He pretty
like
much did.
it's I would love to be there and just see that and just
Yeah.
understand what it's like.
You're right. They and the Eagles were calling around to see what votes they had.
Yeah.
And one last shout out to the owners. Jed York, who are you?
Yeah.
Pipe down while the champions are talking. For him to make that joke about Lurie giving that impassioned speech, be like, buddy, you could give an impassioned speech about your signature play, but you choked away 2 Super Bowls against the Chiefs. We did not. We were up 34-0. So you got to just sit there, bud. All right. Don't
And
try
I
to
would
little
also
bro
like to say
someone when you lost.
Josh Allen and the Bills tried it what seemed 15 times in the playoffs and failed.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
I think of it. We'll see what happens. They got 22 votes. They needed 24 for it to be banned. We'll see what happens this year if the Eagles just whoop everybody's ass again. Maybe they get 2 more next year. It'll probably be brought up again.
I feel like they will.
But like Jeffrey Lurie said, they'll figure something else out.
I keep going back to it. The better the offensive line is, the more likely you are to succeed at it. That's the name of the game. It's the
Agreed.
name of the game from draft day when tackles are a premium to week 1 to the Super Bowl. It'll always be who has the bigger, better offensive line. And as long as we do, this play will keep working. And even if we don't, we'll find a new way.
And
I think week 1, though, we're doing our week 1 preview and we're going to have some special guests. Earliest week 1 preview of all time next week.
Full on. The only thing we'll be talking about is previewing the week 1 game.
Previewing week 1 Eagles Cowboys, which is hilarious. I want the Eagles because the place is going to be going nuts when we line up for our first Tush Push. You got to fake it because the defense is going to sell out beyond all sellouts. They are like they are going to sell out like a politician when the NRA is willing to give them $1 billion. Like this defense is going to sell out so hard. You got to go over the top.
I have been a proponent of this last year, and I even think the year before that I wanted the Eagles to just run an entire drive of just tush pushes, and I think they would at least get in field goal range. I don't want them to do this against the Cowboys. However, can you imagine if they won the kickoff and they're going against last year's last rated run defense by PFF in the Dallas Cowboys? Can you imagine if they just did a tush push every play, the first drive of the entire season, and
It would
scored.
it'd be very funny. I will say this, you know that quote in Dark Knight Rises when he's like, "That comes later." That strategy comes later when we're playing on Monday Night Football against Green Bay.
Mhm.
That's when I wanna go
Yeah,
tush push all the way down the field.
that would be just amazing. So the tush push is here to stay, and something else that is now new uh, at the same owners meeting, and RIP to the owner of the Colts, 65 years old. Hart was he at the meeting? I don't even know.
Nobody said, so now I'm a
I know no
little
one's talking about it.
yeah,
It's very strange. And he like tweeted about the Pacers, and then it was like 8 hours later. They're like, "Yeah, he died."
yeah,
And I'm like, "Oh shit!"
seemed
Now
very
I know
sudden.
he lived life to the fullest. I think we can all say that.
Yeah.
But a rule that was voted on, something that I think. Oh, and do we need to have a conversation about Diana Rossini? Because it seems like she's getting everything wrong lately.
Yeah, that's it's been a few major ones too.
Like big.
And you can't delete. You gotta own
No.
it.
You have to. And if anybody doesn't know, she tweeted that basically the tush push was about to be voted against, and then
That got
nope.
saved.
Um, but a rule that was enacted now that a lot of NFL players were pushing for it, especially I think like Jason Kelsey was the forefront of trying to keep the tush push alive. Justin Jefferson was the forefront of trying to get players to be able to play flag football for Team USA or for their own country of origin
Mhm.
in the 2028 Olympic Games, and it got approved. The NFL players are going to be allowed to play in the 2028 Olympic Games on American soil in LA in the first year flag football will be an Olympic sport. One caveat, it's only one player per team is allowed. Now there's not going to be a player from every single team. There's 32 teams, and I believe what I was reading is there's 10 players on an Olympic team. So it'll only be about 10 players, but this is fascinating and it's going to be so much fun.
I think it's awesome. I love flag football. It's much different, not much different, but it is different than
Yes.
regular football. So I think this is really cool. I wasn't alive for the Dream Team in '92, but I do feel like this first wave, this 2028 game, will feel like that in football form, where the rest of the world hasn't caught up to us in football. So we're just going to put
Mhm.
the Monstars out there and kind of run up some scores, and it'll be a spectacle. So, and it's on US soil.
Yes.
So this is I think it's really exciting.
Do you think there's a chance? So 10 players on the team.
Mhm.
Is there one player that's not an NFL player that's like one of those USA flag football guys, or
Ooh,
is it going to be straight NFL players?
that's a good that's actually a good question. Or do they do like they've done in basketball and they've always had like one college kid, like Anthony Davis
Yeah.
was on the 90 or not 90 2012 team or whenever the redeem team was 2008
Or
whatever.
should the Olympics do what they do in like beach volleyball where they have like team A, team B? Like there's always
Ooh,
in beach volleyball there's more than one US team, right? There's like the
true.
lead dog team and another team,
That would make it very interesting. Where if we had
right?
two US teams and they end up playing each other in the title game,
Can you imagine?
oh, that'd be fun. Now I like that idea a lot.
Like we because are there are there even enough countries in the world like else that compete in flag football? I mean,
That's what I
I'm
was
assuming there is.
thinking. I was like, I feel like it's a bigger sport than we realize because we just
Yes.
watch NFL, but I do think other countries play. The league has been making it a point to expand to other countries, and I think the flag football network is larger than we think. Still, do we have enough like Olympic level talent to play against like cover Justin Jefferson pretty much? Like are there enough people in the world that could cover Justin Jefferson? Because it feels like there's not even a lot in the NFL. I wonder
It's
what our
so funny.
strategy will be on defense.
All right, so this is I'm just reading there's like 6 rules here. So it's 10 players per team,
Okay.
5 players on the field at a time. So it's
Makes sense.
5 on 5. The field is 70 by 25 yards. 40-minute games, 2 20-minute halves, including a 2-minute warning. You have 4 downs to reach midfield, and then 4 downs to score a touchdown. Um, no running plays within 5 yards of the end zone, so no tush pushes. And the overtime, if score is tied, with each team getting equal chances to win. So we need 10 of our most athletic players,
That's what I
basically.
was thinking. So that's actually the same rules as what we played in college. The caveat: no running plays within the 5 yard line is interesting because you could get down there and then people can kind of box you up a little bit. If
But I
they know it
guarantee the
has to get into
NFL
the end zone.
players could run some sick, like,
Oh yeah,
shotgun with those little pitch plays up front, you know what I mean? That's technically
real.
a pass play.
Yeah, those like Andy Reid to
Yep,
Travis Kelsey tight end shovel passes. You're right.
yep,
Oh, that makes it really interesting. I love this. I think this
me
is
too.
so exciting.
And people were talking like, okay, like who are the best players? But at the same time, right? It's 2025. We have to think in the future
Oh
of
yeah,
who are going to be right. Like Tyreek Hill's almost on like the come down now.
I
Now I think
wouldn't
he
pick
would still
him
be
at.
elite there,
Yeah, I don't think I'd
but
even pick Tyreek Hill today.
no, because I do you want Tyreek Hill representing the United States of America?
No, probably not.
Right? Like we got to think about that too.
Yeah, that's a good point.
You, you imagine like this man, Team US? No, okay. Um, I was thinking about quarterbacks, right? And I know like John Harbaugh came out and was like, "Yeah, I'd rather Lamar not." And this also apparently the way like when the games are, it's like going to end like 2 days before training camps start.
I It's so funny because the Olympics are obviously the same time period every time,
Yep.
and I never put two and two together until AJ Brown said it that the Olympics correspond with training camp.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's like, So AJ Brown basically said he would prefer not to, correct?
He said the media would make a big deal out of it, so he would not play.
Who like I feel like we need like a shifty quarterback too, right?
Yeah,
Like so I think Lamar would be obvious. Um
Lamar would be the most obvious one that we have right now.
yes.
If he didn't, I was trying to think of who it would be if it was not him. If we go quarterback who just gets it out of his hands quickly, or if we go another shifty guy like Lamar.
I would say another shifty. I think Kyler Murray would be sneaky good.
Yeah, because he
Jaden Daniels.
also this is not a joke, but he is so low center of gravity that what
Yes.
prohibits him in regular football is getting it over the offensive line,
Yep.
uh, being tackled easily because he is so much
Mhm.
smaller. But in this case, they have to go down to his level to grab the flag. So I
The
think it's a
flag
little
would basically
different.
be like against the ground.
Yes. Are you gonna like it's low man wins, but it's like in a whole different way.
I mean, the biggest problem with Kyler Murray might be that like his feet would actually take the flags off himself, and then he would be tackled by himself. He
He
would
would
step on the flags.
he'd be like Roadrunner.
Jaden Daniels, I think, would be good as well.
He'd be interesting because we're trying to think of guys who were in their prime in 3 years.
Yes,
Hertz is on the commercial for flag football. I feel like
yes.
I don't. Curious if he
I
would
don't
do
see
it.
him doing it though.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't see him doing it. Maybe
Uh, mm,
the receivers are. I
oh,
feel like you can't go wrong. I feel like Justin Jefferson's the easy one because he said it would be a dream come true, so he's
yes,
in.
I think Jamar, if you wanted him, CD, and a lot of these guys too. I think they've gotten the bug too because like this is now what the Pro Bowl is, right? They
Mhm.
play flag football against each other, so you could also go to those games of like, all right, who has performed well? But yeah,
Yeah,
eh, like who is stopping any receiver in the NFL from another country?
good point. I would go just projecting for the future, so I'd have Justin Jefferson, and then I put Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr.
Ooh,
Like I'd have
God,
those
yes,
three
yep,
guys coming
yep,
off the rookie seasons that they had, just reception machines. I'd probably
amen.
take them, and then running back wise, I'm thinking of guys who catch the ball out of the backfield and are shifty. the one that easily comes to mind is Jahmyr Gibbs, and maybe this one's low key, but Bijan Robinson might be another.
Yes. Yep. Yep. Like and like you said, we have to project, so we're thinking about younger guys. So I think Bijan, absolutely. And who knows? Like you and I have we're draft gurus. If it's your first time here, you never know. In 2 years, a couple of these
Yeah.
guys out of this last draft, right? Maybe
Notre Dame as a kid, that running, but Jeremiah Love hurdling people going 90 yards
every
down the field.
everybody.
Penn
So you
State
never
too.
know in a couple of
Nick
years.
Singleton.
Oof. It's gonna. But so then where do you go, right? And then is it just cornerbacks?
I feel like you need one. If it's the rules that I think they are, you need one pass rusher. You could probably have two on the team. There's 10 people total. But yeah, you need one guy to get after the quarterback, and then everybody else is in coverage. So Micah would be a good option because when you're in coverage, you're kind of
Yep.
in no man's land where if
Yep.
the quarterback gets by you, he's 20 yards down the field because it's not the same like coverage rules. It's not like, oh, we're in cover 2 now. Like it's a lot
Yeah.
tougher to do that in a flag football
Yeah.
league. So like if you go pedal to the metal and you end up past the quarterback, you're in trouble because he's just going
Big
to
time.
take off.
Yep.
So I think Micah, as good of a pass rusher is also the most athletic pass rusher that we have.
Yes. I'm just thinking like athletes too, and younger ones. Um,
Jared Verse might be just too like a power guy. Because I'm trying to
yeah, he
think of
might
like
be.
young
Yeah,
guys. In terms of Eagles related, Quinyon and
I was gonna
Cooper
say I'm
DeJean.
scared about your new linebacker slash DN tool that you got.
He would actually be perfect.
Yeah,
Him,
like
Michael Williams, those like edge guys. They're like, we can't figure out if they're linebackers or if they're edge rushers. I'm like, well, in flag football, you're both. So you're actually perfect.
I
Corners,
think.
though. I mean, Surtain at that point would Surtain be too old? 2028, maybe.
Um,
He's what 25, 26 right
yeah,
now.
I don't think he would be too old.
No,
I think he would still be. I mean, I'm sure Sauce would be. He
yeah,
seems like a guy that would want to.
didn't have a great season though.
No, he didn't. But
I think you need, and I think we got to think safeties too.
I I think we have. I mean, I think Cooper DeJean on Team USA would be
Makes sense.
wild.
It would be because you could probably utilize him. And the other thing is like it's more like tackling and coverage than it is like press man stuff because they're
Could you
gonna catch
see
the
like
ball.
I can just see Cooper DeJean in like a fire throwback Team USA light starter jacket with big Oakley sunglasses on and some like specialty mullet cut on walking through the Olympic Village in LA.
Why did I also think of the Oakley sunglasses?
Yeah, right. Like the
That's
big ones.
exactly what I thought of too.
Like I swag and team representation has to be part of this too.
Oh yeah, if you're gonna rock the Team USA gear, we gotta look cool.
Yeah, like we're not bringing Reed or Rodrigo Blankenship out there with the glasses. Sorry, buddy,
That's a name.
you're out. Okay. There's no kickers, right? That was
No,
I feel like no.
I think if you punt, which they're never going to punt, you do arm punts. Like you
Yes.
just launch it down the field. But I
Yeah.
doubt that you're ever going to run into a situation where this team is punting.
Yeah. I I mean, I think again we're gonna have to wait and see. I think the quarterbacks are the obvious because it's like you're Josh Allen. I don't think is the type of guy you need. And then is there also like a reserve team? Because like I get it,
Yeah.
you're gonna need more than one quarterback, right?
And also, like I feel like any time you tweak something, they're gonna be like, all right, you're done. Like the
Yeah,
NFL
you're
team's
out.
gonna be like, all right, you're out.
So
You're like, oh, your hamstring was tight for 30 minutes on Tuesday, you're done. But it'll be that
so
quick.
does
We're gonna
that
need some reserves.
do you think that means they carry that like Team USA quarterback who was already like talking shit?
Probably. Or Yeah, the thing with these guys is it might have to be somebody like that because I don't see a guy being like, "Oh, I'll be emergency QB."
Yeah.
Like, "Oh, Lamar made the team over me, but if you guys need a backup to him, I'll be the backup." When you've been
That's
like
why I'm
in
thinking
the
it might be
league.
one NFL quarterback and then the
Yeah.
Team USA guy.
Yeah, because could you see Josh Allen being like, "No, we'll let Lamar take it," and then, like, if he gets hurt, he's so much better than me, but if he gets hurt, then we'll put me in. I don't see that happening.
And I see like Lamar going down. Like, let's say like Lamar goes down like somehow, unfortunately, like early and quick. The Bills are going to be calling immediately and be like, Josh, tell him your hamstring's hurt. You're not going. Nope, not happening.
Yeah, I'm worried about that too. I actually thought of one. Let's just timestamp 20 minutes on May 23rd, 2025. Bookmark this for August 2028. The kid from Alabama, Ryan Williams, will be on this team. No doubt in
Ooh,
my mind. He's
yeah,
he was
yeah.
NFL ready at 18.
Him and what's his name? The wide receiver from Ohio State,
Oh, yep.
Williams, or
Williams.
no?
No,
Yeah,
not well. Ryan Williams is the Alabama kid.
yeah. Is
Who's the
Alabama
kid?
Smith? No,
Oh,
Is
Jeremiah.
his-
His name's Jeremiah too, isn't it?
isn't it Jeremiah Smith?
I think it
Or
is
no?
Jeremiah Smith. You're right.
Yeah,
He'll be on the team.
like it'll be those guys.
Oh yeah. And Ryan Williams, think about his signature moment last year, that spin move to juke two guys without them touching him. That's a flag
Yeah.
football play.
It is.
They didn't even touch him.
Nope. But either way, that's going to be so much fun, and I can't wait to see Cooper DeJean in all of that Team USA swag.
Oh yeah. I went to New Orleans this past weekend. I visited the site where Cooper DeJean picked sixth Patrick Mahomes. It was great to
Look
see
at
it
that.
live. Still there.
You know how they say that they give out, I think it's like 500,000 condoms in the Olympic Village every year, because it's like that's what all these at now. They might have to up that once we're all of a sudden bringing like 15 NFL players into the mix.
True. They have a lot of practice down there at that SEC schools.
Mm-hmm. They're like all of a sudden, you got these NFL players, and then all of a sudden they're looking over and there's like the Latvia beach volleyball team.
Not the
There might be some problems.
Yeah, it's also LA, so
Just wait.
oh boy.
Yeah, where's Team USA? They're at Nobu.
Yeah. The Olympic Village. Yeah. They've been in no.
Yeah, I don't think they'll be staying in the Olympic Village.
No, I think Team USA basketball did not stay in the Olympic Village. They were in a 5-star hotel in France.
Think about the parties with the NFL players, the NBA players.
Oh yeah. Think about if they win.
Yeah. Oh my God. And it's it's gonna be so much fun. It's gonna be so much fun.
I'm excited for it.
All right. Everybody enjoy your holiday weekends. Be responsible. Have fun. Remember why we are having this weekend. Thank you for all of those who have served and sacrificed. We appreciate your willingness to let us sit here and talk about NFL players and Latvia volleyball players, because that is why we are here. We appreciate it. But next week, like Aidan said, the earliest week 1 preview show of all time, we will be talking Cowboys Eagles on September 4th with 2 of our great friends who cover the Cowboys and the Eagles as well. So look forward to that. Again, if you have not yet, subscribe right here. Smash. We're so close to 1,000. Anywhere you listen to podcasts, we are there as well. And anywhere you are on social media, we are too. So you should join us. TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, we are there. Follow us, like us, comment, do all the things. We appreciate you. Enjoy your weekends. Football's going to be here before you know it. It's crazy.
Chris Hansen here, and I'm going to need you all to take a seat right over there and check out Birds versus Boys.
I think you're completely right here, and I hate it.
Yep. Hey, idiots. Stop doing dumb things.
I got 2 phones.
Upset alert. Upset alert. I might go insane.
I think you're already there.
There's no hope. Hope is gone.
If this was an AFC North podcast, we'd be done in 15 minutes.
Bob Hope.
I'm going to drink bleach.
That is
the team you promised me you were going to be this year!
This is the Consciously Hopeful podcast.
be watching.